Hello, this is Learn to Love Yourself or Authenticity with Rosie. So, I want to do something different. And so, I am just going to kind of tap in and see what messages are wanting to come through at this time. So, the one thing that I keep hearing is the word love. And love can have many, many meanings. It's not just in the romantic sense. You have a love between a mother and a child. You have a love between family members. You have love between friends. And if you think about it, love is what we all have in common with everyone. And it seems like during this time, there is so much people trying to cause division, cause a separation, distractions from everywhere, trying to pull you and to make you lose your footing and lose track of what is actually important to you. And love is the strongest force in the universe. Love can also represent itself differently. And if you think about it, say for instance, like with the last series that I did, abandonment and its relation to the lack of love that someone has for themselves. Because by you feeling abandoned, and then you think that you're afraid someone else will abandon you, and yet your soul is calling you to not abandon yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are you, and you only have to the things that truly matter to you come out. And that's why they say, wait till something bad happens to you and see who the people who actually reach out to you, because those are your people. And not saying that, I guess you would say it's the times when you actually need help, and then you see who is actually willing to help you. Because we all have moments where we need help. And if you're like me, I've had many times, I thought if you admitted that you needed help, somehow that made you more broken. When in truth, it takes courage to ask for help. And we all like to think, well, I don't need anyone. But when in truth, we all need each other, all of us. And if you choose to be alone, that is your choice. But it's just a form of you that I'm talking of right now, where it could also be seen as a form of punishment for yourself, just as like a lot of people talk about, say, addictions, for instance, and how the addictions, it's not the thing so much. It's the person. It's like OCD, whereas a lot of people used to think that was a good thing, right? Being particular about something obsessively, which is what OCD is. It's an obsessive thing. But I used to even pride myself in that. But then I realized by you being OCD, you're actually trying to make up for other deficiencies in your life that you feel you have no control over. And so by being over achieving in certain areas, it makes you feel better about yourself. And you wonder, well, where does addictions play into that? To me, how I see it from this view is addictions is just another method to cover up for something that's lacking within us, rather than stopping and looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling those feelings. I mean, I know when I'm super stressed, I will clean up a storm, and yet I have to stop myself and realize just by keeping your mind busy doesn't make the problem go away. You can ask yourself, when you've tried to be busy, does it make the problem go away? Or does it just make it hang out for longer? And so, in that light, we're all masochists because we all enjoy the pain so much, we want it to hang out for a while. When in truth, if you look at the subject of love and all of the symptoms, anger is all a part of love. Frustration can be a part of love. Love can have so many meanings. It's either of it or the lack of it. And so if you think of all the things that have happened to you in your life, and you stop and wonder and ask yourself, well, why does that react to me in a certain way? And that's why what we call, I like to, somebody brought up the point, and I think it's very fitting, is they say diffuse the bomb. And sometimes a smile can diffuse a bomb. Think of it when someone is really angry and yet you can do something to make them laugh. You diffuse the bomb. And it's not to take them out of it, but sometimes you get so stuck in this mentality that you're in the perspective you're in, that you're unwilling to look outside of this box, because this box that you've created for yourself has seemed to keep you safe. And you think anything outside of this box is scary and you can hurt yourself. And so anytime you're feeling those emotions, then you think, oh, but emotions hurt. And yet, yes, sometimes emotions hurt. But I'll tell you, it feels so amazing to be able to let things go finally. When you've healed past that point, and you realize that things that once bothered you, you all of a sudden realize they don't bother you anymore. And it's not to say that now you don't have boundaries, you do, but you can start to change your approach to how you look at the world, because you realize what people are doing, what they're saying, really doesn't have anything to do with you. It just has to do with what they are going through in that moment of time. And yes, there is people who are unkind. But if you stop and I have the habit of, without, I guess I say it's a habit because I do it without even thinking about it, where I make people feel uncomfortable without meaning to, because I'm very blunt, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I would way rather be hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. And maybe that's from my own trauma, from being lied to most of my life. And you learn of what feels true and what does not, and the things that resonate. And take, for instance, you have a student, a little child, and he's angry because he's feeling left out. And the other people in the group don't realize he got left out because they said, everybody come do it, but because they didn't personally go to him and tell him to come on, then now he's being left out because he doesn't think he's worthy to be a part of that group. And so who is at fault? I would say neither, because everyone has their perspective and how they see the world. And it's so awesome because it makes everything unique to us. And so it's calling things as you see them. And if you say that you were hurt badly, you were. If you were saying is you felt unloved, no one can dispute that point with you. But at some point in this process, and I know this probably won't be popular for a lot of people, but sometimes you can come to a point where you realize you're part of the source of your own pain because of the lies that you told yourself. Because these bodies, our soul, it believes everything you say. It believes what you tell it. And so if you're saying, oh, I'm just not good enough, then you're gonna feel like you're not good enough. If you're like, oh, well, I can never get in shape, then your body's gonna think, oh, yeah, you never get in shape. You think, oh, but I can't do that project because it's just too hard. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. This is all your perspective, and every perspective is right for that person. And no one else can tell you that you're wrong, because we're all so uniquely different. We're all just different. We're all different representations of love. And I don't really believe in good and evil. I believe in more dense energies and lighter energies. And I know some people are like, oh, but if you go through the dark night of the soul, it's just the most horrendous part. And the thing I have to ask, which one? Because I have experienced myself, I don't know how many times I've experienced the dark night of the soul. And yes, you have moments where you're just like, is it worth it? I can't do this. This is hard. How much longer can I hold on? But then you see how far you've come. And you realize that, you know what? Are you willing to give all of that up and start over? Just because at this moment you're sad. But more than anything, I want to remind all of you how loved you are. And even if you don't feel encouraged this time, or you're having a hard time, there's going to be hard days and there's going to be easier days. But you are not given the opportunity unless you can do it. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to take a step back and to look at the situation from a vantage point. Because from a vantage point, it's just like when you have so many things, a huge list of things you got to do. And yet, if you just pick one thing to do today, you don't have to tackle the list right now. You just pick one thing on that list. Because I believe anyone can do something if they believe it. We all are amazing creators of our own reality. And we all can do anything, literally. The question is, do you believe it? And I know belief takes time to grow, because you have to learn how to trust yourself first before you can do anything. But that's when faith turns to knowledge. You had faith that you could clean that room. You thought about it. You started working on it. And pretty soon you did it. And so it's all steps. And so if you break life down, break your experiences, break your stresses down into steps, and make it so that it's a task that's able to be completed. Because a lot of us, myself included, we set our goals too high, and then it blows out our desire and our discipline, and to drive to get it done, because we've made ourselves an impossible task. We've created a scenario where we can't win. And so don't set yourself up for failure. Set yourself up, when you set your goals, for your desires. Set yourself up to win, to succeed, because you can reach those goals. You can have that dream. Yes, sometimes things need tweaking a little bit, and that's how we learn. So I just want to encourage all of you today. You are as an amazing person as you think you are. Because that dream was given to you. And no one can tell you if it was wrong or right besides you. If you wouldn't take criticism, if you wouldn't take criticism from someone else, why take their advice? Have a good day. Wish you all the best. And don't forget how loved you are.